Hello guys, Sir Grindalot here. I'm back after a few days with an extremely busy workload. I finally managed to respect my warrior to be a proper warrior. It's now a warrior. Look at the glory. Look at the glory. Oh, I need to put Whirlwind in the bar. In the action bar. I have not used it yet. I just respect it. I have no idea if it's going to be any good or if it's going to be complete trash. Let's have a look at the equipment before worrying about the stats. Double golden crown, Leonidas Ardor with a golden crown, Sign of Balance with a golden crown. I have not changed my jewelry compared to the setup that I was using on all my previous characters, so Aether and the Dona rings infused with a Dragon Slayer bow, and we're all happy. Now, of course, now that I'm warrior, it would be useful to have a tier 6 Aether infused with a tier 6 Dragon Slayer bow, because that would give a little bit extra strength, but the difference is so minute that I prefer to keep the Dragon Slayer in the bank. Now, odd choice, the weapon. Well, the weapon itself is not an odd choice at all. It's a very good weapon because it has 6 slots. The infusion is an odd choice because I decided to throw a Heaven Cleaver on it. Why? Because I never tried it. I've never played any character using the Heaven Cleaver ever. And I dropped one here on the seasonal character and I was like, is it going to be any good for farming? Let's try. And regarding rolls, you may remember that in the bank I have... Let's see if I can find them. They should be in the bank, not on the spare characters. Where are they? Where are you guys? Yeah, I have these two, the astral ones. The problem is that I noticed all of my golden crowns have fairly mediocre rolls. Like, none of them were above 2000 strength, and none of them were above 3800 physical damage. So, pretty mediocre. So, I didn't want to waste any of my, like, astral drops using a bad infusion item. So, you know, we just keep them here, we wait to see what happens. So, I used the 4 golden crowns that had average to decent rolls. So, not all is lost. I need to put the enchantments. This one, we throw it on the sword, because why not? This one, on the shield. This one, on the chest. Physical damage, yeah, sure. Some extra physical damage. Okay. Now, regarding the stats. Damage-wise, I think we should be doing okay. Definitely okay, at least when it comes to the Magician's Tower. We have a lot of hit points, which is nice. We have basically unlimited armor, which is nice. Magic resistance is making me worry quite a bit. 300,000. Now, of course I maxed the shield, the rotating shield things, but I don't know if that will be enough. I have not tried the character yet. Let's reset, and let's go. Oh, the glory! The spinning glory. Is the bug with the mole still in the game? Let's see. Bob. I thought that's what I would. Oh yes, yes. Oh, wait, how much damage is that? 20 billion. Good. Okay, it's not an amazing damage because I'm using like completely random infusions, but it's absolutely fine for this map. Could go even lower than this. Like, to make it an even better farming setup, I could simply, instead of a Sign of Balance, I could use, well, I could still use a Sign of Balance as a shield, but I could infuse it with a grid. I think I would still have way more than enough damage, but this is sweet. 20 billion with like 7 magic find enchantments, and oh, the Australian Wheel, I have not completed it yet. Let's have a quick look. because I started this character as a mage, basically. So, as you can see, I have many Australium picks for mage. And that sort of wasted quite a lot of Australian points, but it's okay, I don't mind too much. Here, the last one, I have not maxed it yet. I still need a few 100,000. This one, same, not maxed it yet. So there is still room for improvement, quite a bit of improvement. But yeah, I mean, warrior in this map is sweet, really sweet. I would pick up the key, just because I will run a few floors, see how we are doing with 30,000 magic find. Oh yeah, because I forgot to mention that. The reason why I wanted to play the new sword, the Virtutis, which is this one, it's a one-handed sword with 6 slots, and it always drops with 6 slots, which is quite amazing. And the stats on it are not amazing, and like sacrifice, double attack, and bash are for the most part useless. But, you know, bash is not completely wasted for my build because it increases damage of Whirlwind by a little bit. And it comes with a 300% physical damage multiplier, which is pretty good. Now, of course, I could be doing a lot more damage if I was using this weapon infused with a Wardanak, because it's a lot better than a Heaven Cleaver. But you know, let's try the Heaven Cleaver. I don't think it makes a lot of difference in this map. It might, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that it might extend the reach of Whirlwind by a little bit. Because the way... what's this? Oh, the halberd, the chaos thing. Ah, tier 5, of course. I refuse to bring it with me. Because since... what is it called? What's the thing? The Heaven Cleaver. Like, when it hits, it creates a small AoE effect, so I guess that it works and has increased the range of Whirlwind. Now, of course, the splash damage is only 10%, 15%, whatever it is. But dealing more than 20 billion with Whirlwind, which may go up close to 30 once I finish all the Australian wheel. 15% of that, we're looking at more than 4 billion. Which means just the splash damage of Whirlwind should be enough to one-shot anything. Essentially increasing the range in this map. For Forgotten Realms, not so much. Because as you go up in difficulty and you get health multipliers on the mobs, 4 billion damage is basically like not having it. But, you know, you spin around with a bugged hammer. And before someone starts, oh my god, Sir Grindalot is cheating, look, he's using a bug. It's only a graphic bug, it does not increase the range or anything. It's just the animation of Maul basically fuses with... gets infused, yes, in Whirlwind, and you get a nice spinning hammer. I was worried they fixed it, but luckily they didn't. It just looks so cool. I wish there were things like this. Like, guys, developers, do you want to make some money? Animations. Animations like this one. Customized. Not necessarily customized, but you know. Different animations for the attacks or something like this. I mean, if it happens as a bug, I think it can be programmed. Now, I don't work in IT. Like in programming, but I guess that if it happens as a bug, it can be reproduced on purpose. It's just a matter of having the will and the time, of course, because it's a small team and recently, I've not been playing AnimA a lot. I've been using most of my time with Genshin Impact. I'm having a lot of fun. It's a kind of game that I really enjoy a lot because it's similar to a MORP. Very similar, but without having to rely on other people for your progress. Big open world game, a lot of farming to be done, really a lot. Cool characters, beautiful graphics, beautiful sound, soundtrack, the music and everything. So I do believe I will start making a few videos of my grinding adventures in Genshin Impact. And AnimA, I'm still enjoying it, I will not drop it. The point is that apart from golden crowns with better rolls and an astral diamond headband, I really have no interest in farming the season any longer. Like, my main characters, like the non-seasonal ones, the mage in particular, the gear is amazing, and I really have saved up a lot of diamond headbands, so I don't really need more. And I only need an astral one because I would like to have an astral one, and I'm still waiting for the astral diamond, not diamond headband. Well, I'm waiting for the astral diamond headband, but I'm waiting for a chaos headband. Not a chaos headband, a chaos band. My god, the names in this game. Oh, if my voice sounds a bit different from usual, I have not changed my sound setup, microphone or anything. It's still the same as the last few videos, which hopefully sounds a bit better than before, but my nose is extremely stuck. My daughter has this skill that every time she gets a cold, I get it 24 to 48 hours after her. I don't know how it happens. Science cannot explain it, but it happens. How are we doing in terms of drop? Oh, almost a full backpack. Almost. 75% of a full backpack. Is it as good as Mage? No. No. Because that's the question. Like, is it as good as... Is this as good as Mage? No. Mage is better because basically Orbit works as a whirlwind with a wider area. And when you have a large room like this, multi-missile clears everything instantly. So it's just better. And teleport is actually a bit faster than charge. Charge is great, like you're doing insane amounts of damage with charge. Not really insane. But, you know, teleport, no damage. Charge, you are one-shotting monsters. But teleport is just quicker. So, considering that with Mage you have a skill that kills mobs without you having to press it, like you just walk around. And teleport is better than charge from a optimal point of view, optimization point of view rather. There is no point in using warrior spec like this if you already have a mage. But, you know, it's fun. It feels different, it's nice. And yeah, I do enjoy a bit of spinningness. I do enjoy it. Is this here tier 6? Oh, finally! Finally tier 6. It was the only piece of the Valad set that I was missing at tier 6. Nice. Not super important, but you know, it's nice to have it. I believe that I have every piece of the Valad set Astral, but not on this character and not on the regular characters. I need to put them together. Because I was going through the stuff that I have on my regular characters a few days ago, and I noticed that on the regular ones I have every piece of the Valad set Astral apart from the chest. And here in the season I dropped the chest Astral at tier 6. And that was very, very nice. Maybe I will start using the set. Is it good? Well, for the Devastating Blow build, yes, but once they fix the fact that the set bonus doesn't work at the moment. If they don't fix it, then there is no real point in running the Valad set. I mean, it has some nice effects, like weaken, immobilize, and all the sort of stuff, but maybe I would rather run like pieces of gear with better stats. rather than not having the set bonus from Valid. But we shall see. Hopefully they will fix it. Hopefully. I missed this a bit. I missed it. There was a period during which all my farming was done like this, basically. And it's what gave me the Astral Sword, my first tier 6 Astral Sword on the regular characters. It's like a tear going down my eyes, thinking about all the good times that I had with my non-seasonal characters. Ah, the memories. Okay, let's have a quick recap of what I have in the backpack. Mostly trash, I would guess. Yes. Let's feed them all to the frog. Meh, let's keep that one. No. Feed my child. My frog child. Okay. The key is trash, but let's run it. So far I've not had issues with magic resistance, which is nice. Is it because of rotating shields? Very likely. I think that with this magic resistance, if a hit actually reaches me, I'm done. Probably getting one shot. But, you know, it happens. When you want to spin, there is a price to pay. But this is already a huge improvement over my spinning warrior, the regular one. Because farming with the regular one, I was always running out of mana. And I got killed quite a few times because of very low magic resistance. But now that I'm using the Edonaset rings, which gives quite a bit more intellect, and that like intellect fixes both issues at the same time, because if you slot some magic resistant gems, you're going to be tankier, but you're not going to fix your mana regeneration issues. And raising intellect helps both ways. I want to see if... No, I don't want to see if the Magister will kill me because I cannot come back here. So I immediately gave up that idea. But it's 40% more than the Magician's Tower in terms of drop rate, in theory. Do you see an extra 40% drops compared to the Magician's Tower? Because I don't. I definitely don't. Okay, maybe. Oh, I'm so glad that I started to record the sound of my computer because like I fixed the microphone issues. Just because playing this build with Whirlwind while recording straight from the phone would have been a disaster. Like, I remember I made a few videos straight from the phone during a period where I had issues with the microphone, and like there was an endless tap in the background. The reason is the following: like, if you spin like this, you're dealing way less damage than by quickly tapping it. Because the moment you tap the button, you deal damage. You deal the first tick of damage. But if you spin, there is a refresh time. Like, it takes few moments to actually hit again. And if you tap it, you're just dealing way more damage. And even if it's not really necessary here, because I'm one-shotting everything, it's a good habit to have. Because when you're facing... like, okay, this one died way too quickly. But let's say that you need to kill a boss. No, Kral, I would not recommend killing Kral with a warrior. I did it once and it was not a fun time. But if you have to kill the story bosses, Azov, Cerberus, you know, all the sort of stuff, and you're using Whirlwind, don't press it, like, don't hold it like this, just tap. Like this. Pew, 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 pew. And every time that I say pew, it's a tick of damage. It can be a problem with mana when you're fighting bosses. Right now, with the mana regeneration that I have, like... okay, can you stop? I can stand still and tap, like, as quickly as I can, and the mana doesn't go down, which is great. It's really great. But if your mana regeneration is not high enough, you will run out of mana immediately against bosses if you tap. So there's a bit of management to do. And again, it's a thing for which I had issues, and it's the main reason why you see the skill with the thief. What is it called? Redemption. I currently don't need anything in that slot, which is the reason why I was thinking about staying Warrior Mage and put Magic Shield there and teleport instead of charge. Because the main reason why I used that skill was to have mana regeneration. Because you kill mobs, you get the orbs, you recover mana, you can keep killing mobs and so on and so forth. But very different gear. Because of my non-seasonal warrior, I'm using Burdens of the Damned. And the damage on that warrior for Whirlwind, I think, is around 50 billion. Way higher than this. But it runs out of mana every now and then. Plus it dies to any monster dealing magical damage. So this is a bit better. With the Dona Rings and the new Golden Crown. Golden Crown definitely helps. Definitely helps. And I'm glad that I got an Astral one. I'm really glad. I don't remember having a spare Astral Leonidas armor, which is a bit sad. Because my chest on the warrior, the non-seasonal one, is an Astral Leonidas armor infused in an Astral Leonidas armor. It's a very common drop. So I was lucky enough to find the two. But now I wish that I saved one to infuse with a Golden Crown, but we shall see. Today is the 1.4 multiplier key day. It's an interesting day. Oh my god, this map. No. Oh. Do I have another key? No. It's over. It's over. It has a low drop rate multiplier, plus it's the Forgotten Passage. No, Arcane Passage. The names, my god. Oh, and when I will start making videos, probably later today, about Genshin Impact, I might have a stroke while recording, just trying to pronounce and remember the names, because almost every name sounds like a Chinese name written in Western letters. And it's like, there is a character called, I don't know the name, but it's the letter Q, followed by the letter I, followed by the letter Q, followed by the letter I. Some people call her, I think it's a girl, yes, should be a girl, Chi-Chi. And I'm like, in which language does the letter Q becomes a chi sound? Like, how does it work? Or to be more precise, like, I'm sure that in Chinese that have that sound, but I don't know any Western language where you pronounce the letter Q like that. So who thought, like a few million years ago, that the best way to write that sound using Western letters was to use the letter Q? Don't you guys know there is the letter C, which can often be pronounced as Ch? It's, I don't know. And then the name of the areas have the same issues, and it will be the end of me. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, pronouncing the names of characters and areas and items in Genshin Impact will be the end of me. But we need to accept it. Like, no one lives forever, Memento Mori, and all this sort of stuff. There are some cute characters in that game, so if that is going to be the end of me, I will need to accept it. Fate accepted. Okay. It didn't take too long. Pew, 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 pew. Probably thanks to the bugged hammer thing. 1.5, 1.3. Let's do the 1.5. Hope. No, I don't. Oh my god. Charge was suggesting me, bro, don't go that direction. But I didn't listen. And it was a dead end right at the beginning of the map. Feels uber bad, man. What a scam. I have not died yet. I'm probably going to die this map now that I mentioned it, but still reincarnation 14, which is very low, but I've not died yet. At this reincarnation with my previous warrior, I was already dying every now and then. Like, oh, rotating shield is down. I guess I go to the town then. Let's have a quick trip to town and look for a new key. It happened very, very often. Now, ideally, because if you have been following my videos for a long time, I always mention that when I play warrior I find stuff for mage, and when I play mage I find stuff for warrior. So ideally this video will end with a magister dropping a golden key, and the enchantment being +2 to all skills, plus 1800 magical damage, and plus 300 intellect. Zombies. That's not what I asked for. Oh my god, the bird! I wonder if a microphone picked that up. They're copulating outside of my window. Nature is amazing. I have not had birds furiously having sex outside of my window for a couple of days, or at least I didn't notice. But today they're back. So I really think they get horny listening to my voice. There is no other scientific explanation for this. Maybe it's because today the weather is a bit better and they feel a bit turned on and they're like, oh no, let's get some action. But more likely it's the sound of my voice. So if after listening to my videos you start to have some, let's say, inner desires, you are welcome. You are welcome. You can make a donation. And speaking of which, let's do a bit of shilling. If you like my content, in the description I will put a link to buy me a coffee. And it's a bit like Patreon, Subscribe Star, and all the sort of services. But due to my real life, my busy real life, like work and taking care of my daughter and everything, there is no way I could manage to have a fixed schedule. Like, I had a couple of weeks during which I did streaming twice a week. Then I got sick and I couldn't do it for a couple of weeks, and then my daughter was home. So I really don't feel comfortable starting one of those subscriber accounts and then like a week I release 5 videos and then I'm gone for 2 weeks. It doesn't feel good. Buy Me a Coffee is a nicer service. And disclaimer, I would probably not buy coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, I don't like it. It would mostly be tea, beer, or food for my daughter, because she eats basically like the mountain, the Game of Thrones mountain. Like if you look on YouTube, you can find an interview that the guy did. I cannot pronounce his name. It's way out of my reach. But he had an interview where he was showing his training routine, and he correctly mentioned that a very, very important part of training is the food, because you need to sustain your training with enough energy, protein, you know, all this sort of stuff. And the amount of food he has is insane. It was absolutely insane. And there were a couple of meals that looked regular size if you look at the lunchbox. But the stuff inside it looked a bit odd. And then I realized that the guy is huge. So a lunchbox that looks normal size in his hand, it's like a gallon bottle of milk in reality, and it was full of food of all sorts. Oh, another valid guillotine. We might have dropped a white wing. Let's check if it's actually a white wing. For my white wing, well, it's tier 5, so we don't care. I did not have a valid guillotine for a month, and now I got 2 in 1 session. Okay, bird. No, not bird. It's not a bird. It's a frog. Frog, I need your help. Help me get rid of this endless trash. Yeah, Amber, yes. You have a lot of fans, Amber. I'm not one of them, I'm sorry. Okay. I'll be doing a couple more dungeons, maybe. Then call it a day. Pretty happy about the result of this build. It's really, really the first time that I tried. Like, I did not kill a single mob after respecking. It works well for... Like, for the way that I farm, it's working pretty well. Because I'm not really interested in high reincarnations, which become much harder and they slow you down. I think reincarnation 14 to 16 is a pretty good sweet spot. 16 you probably need a slightly better gear or some better enchantments. 20 billion at reincarnation 16. I honestly don't remember. I think it should be workable. Especially because by tapping very quickly, you're not only hitting once, you're hitting more than once. Survivability might be an issue at reincarnation 16 because of magic resistance. But it's not looking bad at all. Not looking bad at all. With the mage gear and spec as a mage, I could farm until 17 in the same way, like one-shot everything and walk around in god mode, which is of course better. Because I always say, you should farm things that you can one-shot. Because this game is all about killing as much stuff as quickly as you can. And if the highest reincarnation that you can one-shot is 17, go for that. If it's 19, go for that. But if you're one-shotting reincarnation 19 mobs, you don't need to farm a lot more in this game. There is always a Magician's Tower problem, which is a better map. Very, very difficult to make a correct comparison. Even if I mention it often in my last few videos, but I get way more full backpacks in Magician's Tower than here, doing this stuff. And full backpacks are good. It's not in the frequently asked questions of the game, but full backpacks are good. How many more dungeons I want to run? We are at, wow, 35 minutes already. I didn't notice. We've been playing for quite a bit. I think, let's see if I get a golden key after this one. If not, I will run one more. But I don't want zombies and dogs, and I don't want another arcane passage. This is like one of the biggest arcane passages in the history of the game. So you better give me a golden key, okay? Or an Astral Virtutis. I don't have it. I think that if I dropped an Astral Virtutis, I would probably wait until the end of the season, because in my regular bank I have an Astral Wardanak, and that's clearly better as an infusion over Heaven Cleaver. But, you know, Heaven Cleaver is nice. There is probably some weird setup where you use Heaven Cleaver. Does the AoE from Heaven Cleaver activate the Guillotine? Probably not. Because it's a proc. Yeah, I don't think it works. It would be sweet. It would be sweet. Which means it doesn't work, of course. But the most important thing, which is the spinning hammer bug, still works. So it's all forgiven. It's all forgiven. I still have no idea when the season will end. During the last 5 days, more or less, I have been away from social media completely. Like, I have not opened the Discord, I have not opened Facebook, so I don't know if the devs announced anything. My guess is no. My guess is no. But I really would like to have an idea when the season ends. Just because, you know, I have a lot of gear that I need to move from the bank to my main characters. So I want to make sure that before the season ends, I transfer things around. It has to be a golden key, come on, no. One more key, with a nice multiplier, this one. This will be the last one. Then I will put the video in the computer, start to edit it, and I will start to play a bit of Genshin Impact. I have a lot of grinding to do, like there are so many things to do after logging in. Another arcane passage, yes. Just from, like, it took basically 5 minutes to load. Oh my god. Double huge arcane passage. Okay. This one has to be a golden key. It has to. There will be no justice in the world if this one does not have a golden key. Come on! Sometimes teleport gets bugged and teleports you to places you don't want. And sometimes charge doesn't take you to the place where you want to go. It's... Pick your poison, literally. How would I improve this build? Well, there is a lot of improvement in the weapon, because I think that if instead of using the Heaven Cleaver I infused it with a, let's say, Dragon Slayer bow, and excuse me, and instead of 3 Dragon Slayer bows in the jewels, I had, let's say, 2 Dragon Slayers and a War Seal. Is it called a War Seal? I think so. Stats should be better, but you know, really small difference. I think that in terms of items, like the actual things that I have in each slot, this setup is very good for farming. Very, very good. Infusions can be improved. Like, I have so much armor, so much armor. And the damage is enough for this kind of content, so there is probably room for a grid or two to have even higher magic find, but not really necessary. I wonder if Guillotine would have been better than a Heaven Cleaver. But, again, like, one gives you a guaranteed 15% increase in damage, essentially, as long as you're hitting many monsters. The other one is sort of a damage increase between 1 and 29%. And the reason why I say that is, the way Guillotine works is, if the target has 30% or less hit points of its original hit points, it dies. So, like, if you would be dealing 75% of a monster's health, the monster dies. Essentially, Guillotine gives you an extra 25% damage. But if you're dealing 95% damage, I mean, if one hit removes 95% of your target's hit point, you're essentially increasing your damage by 5% with Guillotine, which is not as good. So, it really depends on breakpoints. Which is why, outside of Devastating Blow, I'm not really using Guillotine. It's not a bad infusion. It's not a bad infusion at all, but it's not one of my favorites. Do we want to give it a last try? One map that is not Arcane Pass. It's taking forever to load. Okay. Our last hope. Catacombs. These are catacombs, right? I don't remember the names of the maps. I think these are the catacombs. Because I remember the first one is Garden. Then... Cellar? Prison? Catacombs? I remember the Black Palace. I remember the Arcane Passage because it's awful. And then... The caves. Are they called caves? Or are they caverns? Or do they have a different name? Like a completely different name? I don't know. Let's try not to have a stroke while trying to remember the names of maps in this game. Let's save that for Genshin Impact. Because it will come. It will come. The den. But you know what? At the den will be forgiven if a golden key shows up. My god, I got more golden keys during the last few days when I had time farming. More golden keys from the Magisters in the Magician's Tower than in the Forgotten Realms. It's hard to believe. Come on, we're almost at the end. One golden key. One golden key. Just one. You're the chosen one. You are a piece of trash. Anything useful? No. A lot of tier 5 garbage. Okay. So in terms of drop, I didn't get anything at all. But the build works fine. Definitely works fine. Reincarnation 14 easy, 15 easy. 16 I would need to check. But I think it should be fine as well. Survivability can be a bit of an issue here and there, but so far I'm not having too many problems. Not having any problems, so it's fun. It's really fun. And 30,000 magic find in the Magician's Tower it works. Here I don't know why I'm not getting extra drops, but you know, it's the game. It's the game. This is Grindalot checking you out. Wishing you all a happy grinding, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Take care.